Oh, huge role. As much of a role that my childhood played in who I am today. Like I usually look at my life as my life in Pakistan, when I was growing up, my teenage years, and then from 16, 17 onwards, which was in America. And those two, especially being in America, just shaped me as a person and changed me actually. Like there was so many things that I was like, I was a spoiled child, really, We never even we never washed our own dishes. We were, everyone used to look after us. And being there and studying and working and fending for yourself and paying the rent and all of that at such a young age just just changes you. You understand the worth of so many things.
And was it
I know I want to do this. I want to give this a try very seriously. I wasn't able to say too much. Like I was also shy in saying it, but like I told my best friend, and they all knew. But I was like, I want to give this a try. I just didn't know how. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't know. I was in college. I was working. I didn't know how to go about it. Like, what am I supposed to do? Give auditions? Go to an acting school? I even sort of sent a little application to an acting school, by the way. So yeah. No, actually, at that time, films weren't really getting made. In fact, the only film during that time that got made, or one of the few films that got made, was Bowl. And that was my debut film. So my first ever acting experience was on a film set. And then Bowl happened, and then Humsafar happened. And actually, Niyat happened, and then Humsafar happened. And as soon as Humsafar came out, which was literally 3 months after Bowl, as soon as so after Bowl, Humsafar came out, and once Humsafar came out, it was, that became massive. But to answer your question, I think because there weren't any films and dramas were all we had, we picked the best ones and we did them. Even now, if you ask me, I would love to go back to television. I think the content there, some of the content there is very, very strong, very strong. Well, I think what I'd like for girls to at least take away from my story, or not really, whoever they like, or whoever their idols are, is how they handled, success as well as failure. Because I think that's important. We all go through ups and downs. We all will go through, there are times where you come across a situation which might not be pleasant. How do you handle that? I think that's important. Another thing that I think I'd love it if girls and boys, but girls specifically who are watching me, I wish that when they do watch me, they can sort of look at me and say that I can also do this.
and how
They're very important. I mean, one, as an actor, it's a great challenge to play a role like Sara and Varna. But beyond that, I think sometimes we should use art in a more responsible way. And actually, I don't know if responsible is the right word. We should just use art to talk about things that we don't usually talk about. Art makes it very easy to talk about certain things. And that's the beauty of it, right? Because when you're sitting in a room and you're talking about rape or abuse, it gets a little, you can feel a little cagey about it. But when you watch it as a story, you can it's easier, easier visually, it's easier to listen to, it's easier to accept. And so there's a lot that you can say via art. So yeah, I think it's very important.
perceptions?
Yes, absolutely. These roles are challenging. I mean, these films are challenging those perceptions. In fact, you'll notice this in a lot of Pakistani films that are coming out, where they call it pushing the envelope, but that's not what they're doing. They're just bringing out and talking about those things that exist, but we sort of, shove them under the carpet. So that is very cool. We're talking about stuff that we were not comfortable otherwise talking about. So I don't know, like you said, is it impacting people? I think more than change or an impact, I think it's bringing about conversation and debate. And that's like really the first step to the larger picture, which is that we want some sort of change. So yes, conversation, is there. Like everyone talked about Varna when it came out. Everyone was talking about whether this was right, whether this scene was right, abuse, rape, the different institutions, how they help you, how they don't help you. So there was a lot of this debate and discussion over it, which I think is great.
You
Um, I mean, it is. I don't know if it's important, but I think art generally, I mean, all it does is it binds people together. It brings them together. The reason why so many times even when I was in LA, the first thing that we would talk about is what? Music, films, cartoons, things that you know that the other person will know. I mean, everybody knows of Zeppelin or Marley or U2. Similarly, every Desi knows of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, and every Desi knows of Lata Mangeshkar. So it connects. It makes you bond. So for things like bands and stuff to happen, then you're creating, you're making the lines deeper.
there's so much.
Actually, religion doesn't. I don't think so. At least, but that's a good question. What is it that divides these two nations? Nothing. I don't. I personally do not think that anything should divide these two nations, apart from the fact that there are these borders, there are these lines, and of course everybody respects those borders and those lines. But I mean, just it's strange actually, because when I used to go to India, I wouldn't feel the divide. I would actually feel very close to them. Even now, I have so many friends there, and I know so many. I meet Indians all the time who keep telling me we have so many friends in Pakistan.
Well,
So this Eid, my film is coming out. It's an out and out comedy, which I've never attempted. So I'm a bit nervous because comedy isn't, something that I'm comfortable with. And then right after that, I think early next year or maybe end of this year, I'm not really sure, to be honest. But Mola Jat comes out, which is a Punjabi film.